Good day, everyone. Before we start our discussion, I would like to show a picture, and I am confidently sure that you all know this city. Okay? First city is this. You all know this? Yes, it's New York. And how about this? It's the famous Eiffel Tower that can be found in Paris. And how about this one? It's what? It's from Japan. So, based on the picture that I have shown to you, today we're gonna talk about global city. To begin our discussion, we have Miss Maderal to discuss what is a global city.
The global cities. Global cities are major nodes in the interconnected system of informations and money, and the wealth that they capture is intimately related to the specialized businesses that facilitate those flows. According to SAS in 2005, global cities are central sites for advanced services that facilities of telecommunications which are necessary for the global cities are big metropolitan areas that are important to the world economy. According to SAS in 2005, these cities have advanced communication system and special services that help manage business worldwide. They have many multinational companies to make it easier to connect and operate across countries. Cities like New York, London, Paris, Tokyo, and Singapore are examples. They have strong financial systems, modern infrastructures, and global connections.
Cosmopolitanism is a phenomenon associated with global city. It invokes pleasant image of travel, impl- exploration, and worldly pursuit enjoyed by those who have benefits from globalization. What comes into your mind when we say com- cosmopolitanism? Cosmopolitanism is a philosophical and political ideology that posits all human beings belong to a single community, transcending local or national affiliation. The term derives from the ancient Greek cosmopolites, which mean citizen of the world. This concept emphasizes that individuals should identify not just which their local or national identities, but also a part of broader global community. This is one of the example of the broader example of cosmopolitanism. One prominent example of cosmopolitanism can be seen in the work of philosopher Kwame Anthony Appiah. He articles a vision of cosmopolitan community where individuals from various backgrounds engage in relationship characterized by mutual respect and understanding despite different beliefs. Be, be they religious, political, cultural, for instance, in urban centers like New York City or London. People from diverse ethnicities and culture coexist and interact daily. That's all. Thank you.
Globalization as a spatial phenomenon is interconnectedness of places and people across the globe. For example, design and research. Sa design and research is kailangan magamit tag smartphones, designs, and initial research to develop sa isa ka countries.
International first names like Paris or London are names inspired by global cities or places. They reflect cultural significance, activity, and uniqueness, making them popular across different countries. Active influence and participation in every international events and world affairs. UN headquarters in New York City. Active influence and participation in global events means engaging in decision making, diplomacy, and discussion on worldwide issues. Like the UN headquarters in New York, promoting international cooperation and solution. A very, a very large population refers to a significant number of people living in a specific area, indicating growth, diversity, and economic potential, but also challenges like resource management and, infrastructure needs. A major international airport like London Heathrow serves as a global hub, connecting numerous international destinations through multiple airlines, facilitating trade, tourism, and cultural exchange worldwide. The presence of an advanced transportation system that includes several freeways and or large mass transit network offering multiple modes of transportation. Modern days and global cities uses advanced transportation system to ensure a high quality of transportation to its citizens and to grow its economic stability. They also provided different kinds of transportation system to make sure that all places within its states can be reached a various of reasons. The presence international financial institution, law firm, and stock exchanges. It is a it is a it is a institution that boasts an important financial organization within the state to acquire a high growth of the economic profits law firm. It is also a group that provides lawyers to every legal services. The offer sense it is a business entity that involves in nego- nego- negotiation.
Okay, so let's continue to other characteristics of a global city. So again, it can be considered as a global city if it has the following. First is the presence of advanced communications infrastructure on which modern transnational companies rely. Next, the presence of world-renowned cultural institutions, museums, and universities. Next, the presence of several powerful and influential media outlets with an international reach. Next is the presence of major sport facilities and the ability to host international sports event. So, when was the Olympic Games held where Carlos Yulo won? So, it was from Paris, right? So, Paris is one of the global city. Mao na ang buot pasabot sa characteristics of a global city. Katong na-mention nga characteristics, dapat naa na ang isa ka particular nga city a deserve siya ma-consider og global.
Identification of global cities. In the Global Cities by Hansen 1996, she only identified 3 global cities: New York, London, and Tokyo. However, the Globalization and World Cities Study Group and Networks o GAWC makes an attempt to define and categorize world cities in 1999. GAWC ranks cities based on provision of advanced procedure service such as accountancy, advertising, finance, and by law international corporation. The GAWC inventory identified 3 levels of world cities and several
We have
sub-ranks.
the Alpha World Cities. So, they give 12 points to London, New York, Paris, and Tokyo. And 10 points naman to Chicago, Frankfurt, Hong Kong, Los Angeles, Milan, and Singapore.
My name is Dylan Baldoa. Beta World Cities, major world cities: San Francisco, Sydney, Toronto, Zurich. Brussels, Madrid, Mexico City, Sao Paulo, Moscow
Gamma
City.
World Cities. Ang Gamma World Cities na siya mga minor world cities. Mao kini ang 6 points. Amsterdam, Boston, Caracas, Dallas, Düsseldorf, Geneva, Houston, Jakarta, Johannesburg, Melbourne, Osaka, Prague, Santiago, and Taipei, Washington. And 5 points, Bangkok, Beijing, Montreal, Rome, Stockholm, Warsaw. And 4 points, Atlanta, Barcelona, Berlin, Budapest, Buenos Aires, Copenhagen, Hamburg, Istanbul, Kuala Lumpur, Manila, Miami, Minneapolis, Munich, Shanghai.
400 global cities, and very large contribution London and New York City, and San Francisco. Impatient global cities, Amsterdam, Boston, Chicago, 100 million, Moscow, Toronto.
Global niche cities is civilized global contribution. Economic, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Tokyo. Political and social, Brazil, Geneva, Strasbourg, and Washington. Subnet, articular cities. Cultural, Berlin, Copenhagen, Melbourne, Munich, Oslo, Rome, and Stockholm. Political, Bangkok, Beijing, Vienna. Social, Manila, Nyerbuni, or Ottawa.
World leading cities. Primarily economic global contribution. Frankfurt, Miami, Munich, Osaka, Singapore, Sydney, Zurich. Primarily non-economic global contribution. Abidjan, Addis Ababa, Atlanta, Basel, Barcelona, Cairo, Denver, Harare, Lyon, Manila, Mexico City, Mumbai, New Delhi, Shanghai.
If you remember our discussion about globalization, we have this called Global Connected Index. So if I'm not mistaken, it is an indicator to know how globalized the country is. But in our discussion, which is the global city, we have the Global Connected Index. So it is an indicator and a parameter to measure the categories and functions of a global city. So it uses the following criteria. First is the business activity. It involves the presence of headquarters, services, firms, number of international conferences, values of goods through ports and airports. Second is the human capital, how populous that country is. So, it was identified based on the size of foreign-born population, the quality of universities, the number of international schools, and the population of the students as well. Third is the information exchange, the accessibility of major TV news, number of international news and bureaus. So fourth is the cultural experiences, of course, the number of sporting event, museum, and performing arts venue. And last but not the least is the political engagement. So the number of embassies, consulates, international organizations, and political.
Global Power City Index is a globally ranking system that accesses to a major cities globally according their capacity to draw in tourist, business, and lastly cultural events. For tourists, it provides experience to the people and contribute to the cities of their attractiveness and destinations of the people. For number two, for business, we gain a comprehensive understanding of how cities compete for business and the factors influence their attractiveness for investors. Then lastly, for cultural events, GPCI doesn't explicitly list specific factors of cultural events because it provides frameworks of understanding how cultural cities seen to contribute its overall power and competitiveness. That's all. Thank you.
Examples of top-ranking cities in the GPCI include London, New York, Tokyo, and Paris. These cities perform well because of their strong economies, advanced research facilities, vibrant cultural scenes, quality of life.
And this is the top 10 global power cities. First, London. Second, New York City. Third, Tokyo. Fourth, Paris. Fifth, Singapore. Sixth, Seoul. 7, Amsterdam. 8, Berlin. 9, Hong Kong. And the last is Sydney.
So now let's proceed to the very last part of our discussion, which is the other side of global cities. So if you all know that song, Baby, there's another side that you don't know, you don't know. So that's okay. So it said that despite the degree and high-notch international rankings, most global cities are not perfect at all. So, yung mga hinahangaan nating city like Japan, New York, we want to go there. But the part is we don't know that it's not perfect at all. So why? For example, the Mumbai, or it was a city that can be found in India. Manila city can be found in the Philippines, and Bangkok, which is Thailand, are considered global cities. But because of the insufficient public transportation, it made them severely polluted. So mapansin mong gyud diri sa Philippines, when you go to Manila, it's very traffic and it's very air polluted, right? So that's it. And second is Japan. We all know that Japan is very high in terms of suicide rate. So dagdag kaalaman lang, char. Japanese people are dali ra gid sila kanang ingon na ma-depress. That's why Japan considered the very most high in terms of suicide. Okay? So that what I have mentioned is actually the problem na gi-face sa ubang global cities. But the question is, how can we manage this effectively? So before I proceed, I want to apologize for the unnecessary noise. I can control. It's the chicken. It's my it's our environment. Only if I could choke them, but I can't. So how can we manage this effectively? So if for me, try to think, if I am the president and I'd impose some laws, what would those laws will do if my people are also hard-headed? So it's cooperation. We can manage some of the problem actually through cooperation. It is the cooperation between the upper and the lower, which is, the government and its people. Walay mabuhat ang gobyerno if gahi pud tag ulo. Nag-impose na dira og rule nga bawal mulabay, pero kay gahi kag ulo pataka ra gid gyapon kag labay bisag asa. So that is my point. We can manage it effectively if we cooperate, if we stop being hard-headed. Okay? So we have discussed everything from the first part and the last part. So I think that will be all. Thank you.